I've just realised I forgot my contact lens solution. Apologies. Right. Got it. So, greetings and welcome to another weekly vlog. It is Monday evening. So what I should have videoed for you, what I might get Darren to video tomorrow, is the garage. We've started on the garage now. Darren has had 2 full days in it, but I bet it's still upside down. He does things very differently to me. I sort of like work out an area and I start working in that area till that area is sorted. Darren keeps moving everything in the garage around for reasons best known to himself, and sorry, I need to try and see what he's got. So it's been to the car, sorry, to the tip with, remember I said I went through all, I don't know if I did, I started off with Isaac's, all of the boxes. I had a box for every year that he's been at school of all his school stuff, and I've whittled 7, hang on, so there were 7 for primary, no, some were like 7 boxes and I've whittled down to 3. I've kept like his drawings and a lot of like funny work from primary school, like little things he wrote and stuff. I've got rid of everything from secondary school that he's not learning at the minute, that he's not going to need for GCSE, because I don't need his science books and his geography books. I don't need all that. At the end of the year, I just always used to put all of his stuff in a big clear plastic box and put it in the garage. But I've whittled that down to stuff I want to keep. And Darren took all the paper that I went through and separated all the ring binder bits and to make sure it was just paper. So that all went to the tip one day. And then yesterday or another day, no, he's filled the car at the minute with, I think one day he filled the car with loads of cardboard boxes, and loads more are in the car now to go in tomorrow. What we're trying to do is every time we have to take a trip into town, we want to have as much as possible in the car to take to the tip, so it's not a wasted journey. I get an awful lot more done an awful lot faster than Darren. He's quite a lot slower than me. So for 2 full afternoons to have achieved, well, all I had to do was take the paper to the tip. That wasn't, I did all that. He just brought the boxes out of the garage. And as far as I know, all he's cleared out cardboard boxes. That's it. And not all of them. So the plan is, on the right hand side of the garage, I want to get garage racking. On the left side, just, we've got lots of old bookshelves, just gonna keep them for now to put stuff on. You know, like old paint tins, and Darren's got spray cans and all that sort of stuff that he uses to customise stuff with. Bottom of the garage, there's a couple of 4-drawer plastic units which have got Lego stuff in, and our suitcases are going to go down there as well. And we've got a big ottoman that we just put loads of shit in. So the plan is to get the garage down to as little as possible. So I should film that for you tomorrow, or get him to do it, to show you what we're looking at, and to remind you that Darren has had 2 days of work on it already. So it was even worse before. Our dining room has currently got all of the boxes I emptied, which are 3, I think, big book boxes. Well, that's the size of them. 3 big plastic boxes which are empty, and then the 1 big plastic box and the 3 small cardboard boxes that I'm keeping with the stuff. That's still in the dining room. It hasn't made it back in the garage yet. Today I photographed and uploaded all of the t-shirts that I managed to whittle out, which is a bin bag full, onto Vinted. I've sold 1 thing already. Last year Darren picked up these dresses in Primark. He got me one which didn't fit, which now fits. As a matter of fact, the one he got me was a size 18 and it was too small. It now is too big, and the 16 that he also picked up is a little bit big, but if I put a belt round it, it'll fit. I'm going to get like, it's just a plain white cotton dress from Primark, and they were originally 25 quid. They got marked down to £3. Darren picked up about 4 of them because his brain was saying we could dye these and, you know, whatever. Not realising they wouldn't fit, but he got to the till and they said, oh, that's £1. And he's £1. So it got to a 16 and an 18 because they didn't know what size to get me. And he went back and he picked up another size 16 and a size 22. So we've got 4 of these dresses, one of which I'm going to keep, and the other 3 I've put on Vinted. And I put them up at a tenner, and someone's bought one at a tenner right away, so that's gone. Most t-shirts you're going to get a couple of quid for at most. I have got 140 items on Vinted at the minute. Most of them will never sell, but you never know, some of them might. So we've decided, after a lot of talking and back and forth, we've decided to pay for the test for Molly to get for Cushings. Unfortunately, it's not definitive if it will definitely tell us if she has it or not. The test's going to be up near £200. The treatment's £80 a month, plus every quarter she needs more blood tests. We could be looking... Darren phoned the guy from the kennels that's looking after them in August when we go away, and he said, oh, I've just lost my dog to Cushing's. Absolutely horrendous, horrible disease, which we're finding from everyone that we're speaking to. And he was like, she might not be here by the 16th of August. And we're like, what? That's when we're going away. So that was a bit of a worry. And I'm like, right, what we're going to do is get the test, have the definite diagnosis, hopefully, get the medication. If she has really bad reactions to it, which some people say that certain dogs can have, then we stop it and just go holistic. At the minute, we've got the cortisol, which she started on, and we've got the flaxseed probiotic for her food. Darren's picking up special food from Pets at Home, which is high protein, high meat. It's costing us a fortune. Darren's just sold an LP for £116 that he had up for sale, but rather than a little bit of money for spending for holiday, which we'd hoped it would be, plus obviously all the stuff I've sold on Vinted, it's now going to be Molly's vet fund. We're lucky that we've got, you know, a little bit to pay for it, because otherwise I've no fucking idea how I would afford it. Because, you know, we don't have loads of extra money. Going forward, we won't be saving any more for holidays. The little bit of spare money we have will be going towards however long we've got Molly left, paying for the medication. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, how she responds. So, yeah, Darren's phoning the vet in the morning. So today has been spent... Well, Darren didn't really go out to the garage to start the work until about 1:30, because I was upstairs from about 10:30 to 1:30, photographing everything and sorting everything out from my Vinted and tidying stuff in the back room. Because Isaac keeps having people over for sleepovers at not very much notice, and I needed everything to be in, basically on top of the bed. There's bin bags. There's like bin bag with my stuff that's for sale, bin bag with Darren's, 2 bin bags with Isaac's for sale, and another one with just little bits and bobs. So if someone comes, I can just take that all off the bed in the bags and just store it somewhere in our room, rather than just a heap of stuff on the bed that needs moving. So I had 3 hours this morning spent doing that, and an afternoon spent uploading everything. Darren spent a couple of hours in the garage. I think he just got a load of cardboard boxes. I don't know why. I have to move it about and see what we've got. It's like, okay. I've got a big bag full of DVDs to go to CEX. They've been in the garage and just in a box, and I'm like, right, they're all going. The money, I'm going to just get vouchers from CEX, and fingers crossed is going to go towards pre-ordering GTA for Isaac for Christmas, because that's like 70 or 80 quid. So I'm going to pre-order it from CEX and hope, well, it's a big massive bag full of DVDs. I don't know what we'll get for it on vouchers, but, you know, I'm hoping that, my fingers are crossed for maybe half of what it's going to cost. We'll see. Don't know what to expect. I've never traded in at CEX before. Can't think of anything else to tell you. So today's been backbreaking, to be honest. I'm really tired. There's just so much stuff in the garage. There's 2 wardrobes on a big sideboard that all need broken down, so the council can come and get them. We haven't even started getting close. Basically, until I get into the garage and actually manage what's happening, it's just going to be a case of Darren rotating stuff around the garage and nothing much happening. So I need to get in and actually... It's one of the only things I'm good at, is organising things and getting the job done quick. It's one of the few things I'm decent at. But yeah, we shall see. Tomorrow I'm in a bit, it's just so, I just want a few days to be able to get stuff done, but I don't have that. Tomorrow I'm in at my dad's, and the thing is, when I go in to see my dad, he sits and reads the paper and watches the TV and doesn't hardly speak, and when I speak to him, he can't fucking hear me. It's frustrating, and Isaac wants to go do stuff, and I'm like, you haven't been to your grandpa's, and he's like, well, he doesn't speak to me, what's the point of being there? And it's like, you know, it's frustrating. Isaac's planned loads for this week with friends, so he's getting taxied back and forwards. Although he is going to the cinema with Katie, the girl from Randallstown, I think on his own on Friday, and then they're going around town, so don't know what's happening there. That could be a girlfriend, who knows. She seems like a really nice wee girl. What else? Yeah, so at my dad's tomorrow. Wednesday I'm taking Kira and Sophie to soft play. That takes up the whole afternoon. By the time we get there, it's a couple of hours there, and by the time we get back, the afternoon's gone. It's tea time by the time we get back. And I will be sore and tired. It's frustrating not being able to be like a normal person and do something and then be capable of doing other things, but it's just not in me. I just get really, really tired. At the minute, I'm in agony from the work today. Wednesday, we're going to have to work on the garage. Thursday, Isaac's going to Randallstown on Thursday, so we'll try and get a tip run done when we take him in. Friday, he is at a youth club event, a different youth club, and then he's meeting Katie in town. Sunday, it's the 12th of July, so I never leave the house, so that may be working on the garage day, but the tip won't be open at the weekend or Monday and Tuesday because the 11th and 12th are 2 holidays here, and because they fall on the Saturday and Sunday, the council will take Monday and Tuesday off. So the tip will be closed for 4 days, which is really frustrating when you're trying to get stuff done. So I need to try and source some garage racking for not too expensive, which is going to be fun. It's a good thing about England, there are always people selling stuff somewhere cheap, but here it's not the same way. So we'll just have to see. As a matter of fact, I must get Darren when he's at the tip to say to them, have you got any garage racking hanging about the place, just in case? You never know. Because, like, just example, say we had to, you know, we were moving into my dad's or something. If we had garage racking, we'd have to get rid of it, and because there's no garage there, and we'd have to sell it. So we just need someone else that's selling theirs, or to get someone that's not uber price. I'll have to go on my credit card and be paid off, because literally, you know, the money that Darren made from the CD and stuff, or the LP, has gone on the 170 quid vet's bill last week. I've spent almost £100 on alternative stuff and waterproof nappies and stuff for the put over the sofa, and you know, all different kinds of things this week. So this blood test that she's going to have to go for is about £200, and then the treatment's £80 a month. So that's going to have to go on the credit card initially, the first payment. When we get back from holiday, just the money that was being saved for holiday will then, and somehow I've got Christmas to contend with. Please, anybody watching this, mainly Kelly, do not please get us much for Christmas, because we're really struggling financially right now, and I would feel awful not being able to get you much. I only buy family at Christmas. I buy, well, usually my mum and dad, now just my dad, obviously Isaac and Darren, and I would buy for Sophie and Alice, Kelly and Dave's. And Kelly and Dave are family to me. They're like, they're Isaac's godparents, and to me they are family. But I don't buy for other friends or anything like that. So, but it's still a struggle trying to, you know, when you've the little bit of money that we do save for holidays, we don't save coming up to Christmas, but that all goes on Christmas. Especially teenagers, when they get to a certain age, everything they want costs a fortune. And like I said, Isaac's friends are all from quite affluent families, and they're buying them expensive electric guitars, and we can't compete with that. We can't afford that kind of thing. You know, we don't have 2 sets of grandparents spending loads of money on them either. Darren's dad, Isaac's lucky if he gets a tenner at Christmas from him, that's it. And my mum would have been, she wouldn't have went overboard, but you should have bought him one decent thing. And by that, you know, it wouldn't have been anything massive, maybe a pair of headphones or something. But my dad doesn't think about stuff like that. You know, little things that my mum did, like give Isaac pocket money, or you know, if you're struggling here and there with something, or if you're going on holiday, she'd give you a little bit of money or something. My dad wouldn't think to do that. It would never occur to him to help you out, and I certainly wouldn't be asking. It's frustrating that, you know, we sort of go money to money with not an awful lot extra, and he sat with loads of money in the bank, and it's like, fuck, that's frustrating. If Isaac does get into uni, I'm just going to have to ask for help, because, you know, the money that was left to me. It wasn't left to my dad. So, you know, I'm going to have to just say, look, you know, Isaac wants, and then my dad's like, but university is a waste of money because there's tons of people with degrees working stacking shelves in supermarkets. It's just a big waste. And it's like, well, that's not your choice to make. This is our choice to make, but it's another battle to deal with at some point down the road. But yeah, things are a little bit stressful now with Molly. All of these Cushing symptoms are hitting all at once. It's a bit worrying. Darren's quite, you know, he's quite upset about it, but I'm trying to say to don't let her pick up on that, because dogs are very intuitive. You know, we have to think positive. She's had a really good life. She's 14. She's at the minute happy. You know, it hasn't affected her mood or her quality of life at the minute. She's having at the minute occasional accident. It's not a big issue. But yeah, there's that, and everybody's saying, oh, it's awful, you know, they might be dead in a month, or they might not even make it to August. It's like, fuck. And then we're waiting on my dad going for his, you know, breast cancer scan. So yeah, lots happening. None of it fantastic at the minute, unfortunately. Just, I think I'm sort of like fully concentrating on getting this garage sorted to take my mind off it, you know, to concentrate on something else. And then someone has told me something and regarding plans of something coming up, but I'm not allowed to tell anyone, and it's like, fucking hell. Nothing bad, don't get me wrong. It's like someone has said, right, I'm telling you this, I'm not telling anyone else, and it affects plans and stuff, and I could really do with speaking to Darren, but I can't, because I've been told don't tell anyone, so I can't, and that's frustrating. So yeah, I shall go to my bed now. It's quite early, it's only just after 10 o'clock. I'm going to go and start the new season of Love is Blind Argentina, watch some of that, and try to de-stress a little bit. And yeah, I shall check in with you guys later in the week. Tomorrow, the first thing that you see is probably going to be the garage tomorrow. I'll get Darren to go in and film it, because I don't think my mood will take it right now if I see how bad. I have tidied that garage so many times and got it looking as well as it can do, and then I leave it a few months and I go in and it looks like a fucking tornado's hit it. But this time, everything in there that's not needed is fucking going. I said to Darren, if I need to get you out of the house for a day, I'm going to take it to the tip of my own. So, but this is the thing, you can never get Darren out of the house to do shit like that. Or if he is away, he's in the car. So it's, you know, what are you doing? He'll go through stuff I've bagged up to take to the tip to make sure what... I had bagged up a ton of Isaac's old toys for the charity shop. He went through them all and took loads out to keep and to sell. Oh, you can't get rid of that, you can sell that. It still isn't sold, it's still fucking sat in the garage. It's so frustrating, I just want to take the fucking lot and get rid of it. It's oh, fuck, don't start me. Right, I'm going to be bed. I shall catch up with you guys tomorrow. Hello. It is Tuesday. Did I record? Yes, I recorded last night. We're just heading into my dad's with a stop at the tip on the way. The car, other than, or you can probably just see over my shoulder, the car is absolutely full of cardboard. We're, as I said last night, trying to start on the garage. It's really hot. It's only 18.5, but it's really humid and hot. So we're going to get rid of all this. I had a box of DVDs in the garage and I was going to bring them into CEX to... Oh, I can't see anything out the back window.
I'm getting a call on my
phone. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I saying? Yeah, and I was scanning the DVDs into the CEX site to trade in, and pretty much everything was worth 1p. It's like, what? 1p? He must have found her, he's coming. So I'm keeping them, but I have to try and make room for them now, which is the issue. There's so much crap on the shelves in that back room. It's the problem of having so much stuff in a very small house. There just isn't the room. You have to sort of like forego something. I had to put that on your seat because there won't be any room at your feet. So I've already given him the bag with his postal stuff and the drinks in it for his, that's at his feet. So we'll go to the tip, get rid of, I can't see anything out of that window.
I've got this here, right?
Yeah, but that's not going to be when I'm driving forward. That's not on. I just noticed that, you know, the nice flowery red plant. I'm going to need to cut all the flowers off. It was all died and wilted and it looks awful.
Just got down to this time, that's all.
Yeah. Right, I don't think there's anything that was not 30 mile an hour. To update you with. Just got rid of this lot of crap at the tip. We've decided against racking in the garage purely for the price, unless at some point some come up cheap because someone's selling it. We're just going to actually, but I thought, well, why don't we just buy plastic storage boxes and stack them, you know, like 3 or 4 high all along the wall, rather than get shelving. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so we'll get the boxes at some point and then we can put anything that we're keeping into them. So yeah, I'll switch you off because there's nothing more to tell you other than that at the minute. That was fast, I wasn't ready for that. Oh. There she is. She's getting her money's worth today. Look at this, guys. It's about 10:30 on Wednesday night. Look at the mist. I feel like I'm in The Fog, the movie. I mean, there's the garden that's not, you know, that's just normal. And then, look at that. I don't know what the hell's going on. Just everything, the whole mountain has disappeared in the background. No fog. Fog. It's been really, really, really hot today, so I don't know what that means. But yeah, I thought I'd capture that before I went to bed. Madness. Hello. I might need my sunglasses. It's, believe it or not. It is, what day is it? Friday. Just heading into town. It is a lovely day. It's 21 degrees out where we are, which means it's at least 23 in town. Isaac has gone to a cross community youth club thing this morning, then he's meeting Katie, which apparently is not a date, this afternoon. He had a big meet up with his friends, like a group of them yesterday. They all went to Randallstown, had a good day, and I think it's just him and her going to the cinema to see Minions today. Now Isaac would have never gone to see Minions. You know, he's sort of grown out of that a bit now, so it must have been her wanting to see it. But yeah, so I have to pick him up, well, me or Darren, it depends what. I think it's around 6ish, but it's now almost 2. I just need to go in and get a couple of things in town. I want to go to the library to check out, they have all these really old yearbooks. They're not yearbooks like in the American sense with individual pictures or anything, but they're books that were published when I was at school. There was one every year, and I found them the other day before I was going in for that spray tan, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought, like, just come across them, and I didn't have time because I had the appointment to have a look, and I thought I must go and actually have a look and see if I can find anything from when I was at school, see if there's any photos in it. So I'm going to go do that. I have a couple of little bits to pick up in town. I would imagine I'll be back before Isaac needs picking up, unless I can busy myself in town for 4 hours, which I can't see. I can't even go and sit and read a book because it's too fucking hot, and it would be using loads of electricity to have the car aircon going. not spending money sitting in fucking Costa Coffee or wherever buying stuff that I don't even really want. Then again, I'm wasting money going home. You see, you know what would happen? I would sit in town for ages, and then Isaac would say, oh, well, can you pick me up at like 8 o'clock or something? So he'll be in the cinema, so he won't be contactable after 2:30. He still hasn't fucking texted me. He was meant to text with if pickup was still 6 o'clock and where it was going to be. And as yet, I have heard nothing yet from him. So, yeah, nothing else really to tell you that I can think of. It's gone up to 22.5 already. So it's probably about 25 in town then, I would imagine. I've had email from... Did I tell you I had an email from my dad's solicitor? We went to see the solicitor in September of last year. Now, I know nothing about probate and all that shit, because I've never had to deal with it. But apparently they have to do it regarding the house, and the house passes into my dad's name until he passes, and then it passes into my name. But they were saying, and how much was in this bank account, and what's this and what's that. My dad has got rid of all the old bank statements of my mum's because we didn't think we'd need them. So I have to somehow try and piece together from what went into different bank accounts where it all came from and all the figures. Also, something, and I've sent them an email and got a response back. They're now on holiday for 2 flipping weeks. Over here for the 12th of July, people take a 2-day holiday, usually the 12th and the 13th. Well, the 12th falls on a Sunday this year, so they will take the Monday and Tuesday. But this solicitors is taking 2 flipping weeks off, so they're not back for a while. Now, my query is, and I didn't really want to put this in an email, I wanted to talk to him about it because of what? Essentially, I don't want to drop him in it, but, so my mum's will, I maybe told you this at the time, so she left a £5,000 for Trocra, which is like, it's like for kids in Africa and stuff. It's something that is an Irish charity that give to like little kids over in Africa for different reasons. And then there's she wanted to leave 1,500 to the MS Society. So when my dad went in, he said to the solicitor, is there any possibility I can change that? Because the MS Society did absolutely nothing for Kathleen for the last 3 decades of her life. I don't want them getting the money, to be honest. He said, you know, would rather choose a charity that she supported. And the solicitor said, now I had done no research at this point, so I knew nothing. The solicitor said, well, the only people that know what's written there is us and you. So if you want to change it to something else, that's down to you. And we're like, right, fine. And I think we chose WaterAid or Mercy Ships. It was one of the two, I can't remember. And afterwards, I was doing some research, and it said, first of all, because I needed to do the transfer of the money, and I'm like, oh, do I have to do this in a different way? Then, you know. And it said, you do not do any of the payouts from the will until the grant of probate has been done, which I am like, what the fuck's that mean? But that's what they're doing now. That's what this email was about. And we have to go down for another meeting. We have to get the house valued, which means we'll have to pay to have that done, pay for all this, but I dread to think how much this is going to be. But my query is, so I have the money for Trocra. I have it set, and this money that's going to whatever the other charity is, which I've actually forgotten now, I'll have to clarify what it was. But I have since read, when I was saying, right, you know, when it comes up to a year after the person has died, the charity that the money's been promised to can start charging you interest because they haven't had their money yet. Well, our solicitor hasn't finished this paperwork yet, and everything online says this paperwork needs to be done before you start paying the charities. And there's like a whole official letter you have to send, and you get official receipts, all that. Anyway, all that palaver, that's besides the point. But it also said, but I'm like, how do charities know money's been left to them? What if somehow, because this is a will, it's an official document, and it's got, I don't hope that's my sunglasses and this isn't recorded really dark because my iPhone does not like the sun. It's now 23. And apparently charities pay this scanning service that when a will is made public, which all wills are made public when the grant of probate has been done, and they pay a company to scan all wills, and then they will contact the executors, which would be me or my dad, and say, where's my money? So I'm so glad I hadn't paid the charity yet. So if I were to do what the solicitor said it's fine to do and pay WaterAid the money that should have went to MS Society, then MS Society, surely they can see that will and see that they were promised that money. They can come to me and say, right, give us our money. So I need to speak to the solicitor, and they're now off for 2 weeks, and I'm like, I've said in an email, it's coming up to it's less than 2 months away from a year, and these charities can start charging interest, you know. But I didn't want to say in the email what he'd said in person, which was, well, the only people that know what's on that's me and you, because I don't know how he's getting around that and what he's doing. So I'll have to speak to him. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, but I'm a bit pissed off that he's misadvised us, and I could have, because I went to pay these charities way back in September, and it was only me researching how do I do it so that it's official rather than just go online and make a donation. I needed to link the payment to the will kind of thing, and it was only while doing that it said, no, you don't pay it until this point, and this is the letter you use, and this is what you ask, and blah blah blah. So I don't know, and I'm sat with this money in the house in an envelope because I can't sit with £6,500 in my bank account, because I also looked at this, and because I receive a form of benefits, if you have over £6,000 in the bank, even if I can prove that money is for a charity donation in a will that I'm executor of, they count that money as my money, and they can stop anything that I'm owed. So I can't even sit with the money in the bank. You know, I have to sit with this money in the house, which, to be honest, I don't really want to be sitting with this fucking money in the house, to be honest with you. But I don't know. The reason I was like, I got a bit concerned was because I read this story about this brother and sister whose one of their parents had passed, and they weren't very close. They barely saw each other in their life, and they were sorting out the funeral. Solicitor dealt with all the paperwork from the will. They got whatever money was left to them. They divided it in half. It was the guy was writing in, he used his half for a deposit on a house. Life went on. The solicitor was meant to pay the charities. He didn't. He released all the money to the brother and sister. They split it. They spent it, thinking, now, I don't know if this guy's being honest and whether he just thought, well, I'm not paying the charities, I'm keeping it, or whether he did actually not realise. But what ended up happening was the charity that had been promised the money in the will came and said, right, I'm owed X. He said it was 5 figures, so it's at least 10 grand. I'm owed this. Where is it? And this brother and sister are now liable for this charity donation of 10 grand. There were two. There was one for 10 grand and one for about 500. And they paid the one for 500 between the two of them because, you know, it wasn't that much. But the 10 grand one, neither of them have any money, and basically the money that was got from the will has been spent. It's went into a house deposit. But they've been told, well, not only are you liable to pay this, you're also liable for any interest accrued after a year. And I think this was 2 years after their mother's death. And I'm like, oh my God, what if I'd paid WaterAid like we discussed with the solicitor, and then the MS Society came chasing me for £1.5 grand that I don't have? You know what I mean? So I'm a bit pissed off. Even though their solicitor admitted fault and said it was an oversight on their part and they should have made the donation, the company, basically the charity, said, well, I'm sorry, but this is our money and you have to pay it. So, it's all big fat can of worms. You know what I mean? There's just too much involved for my liking, and it's too confused, because I don't understand all of it, and as far as I can see, we're paying somebody money to do something that we could have done ourselves, and there's no way. I think the inheritance tax figure is something like £325,000. Absolutely nothing my mum has left is even close to that, even if you count the house. The house, I said to the solicitor, the house is probably worth about 110,000 because it's had no upkeep on it. It needs a whole new heating system. It needs fully refurbished, you know, decorated, loads of stuff. But if it needs a valuation, then an estate agent's going to have to come in and value it. But we'll have to pay for that, just so this house can be given to my dad. And then again, when my dad goes, I'll have to go through all this again. It's like, for fuck's sake. I mean, why is it anybody else's business having to be made public? Oh, this is how much this house is worth in this. It's nobody else. It was my mum's house. She left her wishes. I don't understand why all of this and there's no family to contest. I can understand when there's like big families that contest wills. We don't have a big family. There's me. That's it. There's no one to contest anything. Unless my mum had a secret love child somewhere. Anyway, it's just all very confusing and irritating, and my dad just wants to take nothing to do with it because he doesn't like anything official. He doesn't like talking to people. Half the times he can't hear people. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I'll switch you off. That's all that's happening at the minute. What, 23 and a half, so it's not, what did I say when I left home? It was 21, so 2.5 degrees warmer here. So I'll switch you off, guys. I'll switch you back on later on if I've anything of any interest to tell you, or if I find anything of any interest in the library. It is Saturday night and I am having a rare evening out to myself to go to see Evil Dead Burn. I wasn't going to bother, but the England match is on tonight and obviously Darren's going to be glued to that, so I thought, you know what, I don't know what the hell's rattling, but it's really irritating. Might be my handbag. Yeah, so I've heard it's really good and I've heard it's good, it's not great. I'm expecting decent but not great, so we shall see. Any other news? I'll update you on Molly. So Molly is Saturday now. Molly had her test for Cushings on Wednesday, which consisted of having a blood test in the morning, then they gave her steroids, and then they tested her another couple of times throughout the day. The test came back that she does have Cushing's, so he prescribed medication called Veterol. Now, some people say it really helps their dog, and some people say the side effects is worse than the illness, so it's a case of we just have to wait and see. But Darren wanted to start her on 5mg, but the vet has given 10mg, and they're capsules, so we can't like just break it in half or anything, and then they're like toxic to dogs if they don't have like the strong, you know, capsule coating on it. So you can't mess with it. Her weight was falling in between 5 and 10, and Darren says he wanted to start her on 5. The vet's a shower shy. The vet that owns the place is the one that I went to school with, who's really good, but this is a new vet that she's hired and he's fucking shit. He's the one I told you about that talked for half hour and told us nothing. So there's a car coming, mate. Yep, it's me. Somebody trying to pull out from the side. So what was I saying? He gave the 10mg capsules. We started her on them the day after she got the result, and apologies, I was talking to you and my tablet alarm went off. Thankfully I did remember to take my tablet before I left the house. It's my amitriptyline, which is a muscle relaxant. They're building the new school here that was meant to be, and I like to look at the progress as I come past. My amitriptyline, which is to help me sleep, and I've taken a tablet to help me sleep before I go to the cinema because it takes 4 to 5 hours to do anything. If I didn't take it and took it when I came home, I wouldn't be asleep all night. The bloody birds, see, it's my own fault feeding all the birds. They're not crows, they're jackdaws every fucking morning. between like 5 and 6, closer to 5, every morning in our garden. The racket with these birds. I don't mind nice little bird twittering and tweetings because that's not disturbing, it's a nice background noise, but these birds, no. It's awful, and they won't shut up, and it goes on and on and on, and I get up to the window and open the window really wide and they fly off, but then they're back 5 minutes later doing the same fucking noise, and I can't get any sleep in the morning for these birds. Can't even remember what I was talking about. Molly. So she had a bit of a restless night last night, on the bed, off the bed, moving about the place in the bedroom. She has really loose poos. Now she doesn't have like diarrhea, but it's really loose poos. But the thing is, she can't hold it. Once she feels that she needs to go, that's it. It's out, and she keeps pooing in the house. It's not her fault. But you know, like we have her outside every hour to pee, because one of the big things about Cushings is they drink like way too much and they pee constantly. That was our first symptom that she had anything wrong, was the drinking and the weeing. So she hasn't weed in the house in ages, but she's pooed in it 3 times now in a few days because she can't stop. And from research, basically the steroid test causes that for 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, but if it continues, contact your vet. But also starting the Veterol also has the same effect. A lot of, like, online it said stop the Veterol until it clears up from the initial, you know, steroid, and when she's back to normal then start the Veterol, which is what I've said to Darren, that's what we're going to do. He phoned the vets today. Oh, he's very busy, you know, you'd maybe need to see her, it'll be £38 consultation. And Darren said to ask a question, to say to the vet, should I stop giving her the tablets? She's in again on Tuesday with Dobby for her kennel cough vaccination for the kennels, which again, that's another thing that can affect it. It's all coming at fucking once at the minute. We're beside us. I mean, the amount of money we've had to spend in the last couple of weeks and we're gonna, in another 2 weeks, it's another £200 to have another test done to see if the amount of Veterol is the right amount, and then after that another one to see if the adjusted amount is correct, and then every 3 to 6 months she needs a blood test, and it's costing us a fucking fortune. It's just madness. It's going to be all the money that we would normally saved to go on holiday is now going to go on this instead. It's a struggle to find the money, to be honest. Anyway, it's Molly, and she might only have a few months, and I don't want to not have given her the chance. You know, she might have a couple of years with the right treatment. She might have a few months. She might just respond really badly to this treatment and it not be suitable for her. We don't know. The guy at the kennel said, oh, I've just lost my dog to Cushing's, and he was like, about her even last until the 16th of August till we go away. And it's like, fucking hell. So the vet said we could come in and it would be £38 to ask questions, or the receptionist did, or we could go to Belfast, which is like 45 miles away, to have a walk-in appointment. That would be 300 odd quid to ask a question about medication. Basically, should I stop this until I see you on Tuesday? Given that Darren had specifically asked not to start on the higher dose, to start her on the 5 milligrams. He hung about on Friday night to speak to the vet about it, and he was in the waiting room for like 45 minutes, and then he started with a migraine and he couldn't wait anymore, he had to leave. But the vet never, sort of like, he was working the whole time, the vet never called him back. He called again today. This is always really busy. It could be hours before he calls you back. Darren says that's absolutely fine because she only gets the medication once a day in the morning, so she wouldn't be getting it until tomorrow morning anyway. It's quite simply, do I stop with this medication until we reassess on Tuesday? That's all the question is. problem is, because we've got the wonderful 12th of July, which is tomorrow, we can't, there's a fucking hedge cutter in front of me doing approximately 2 miles an hour that I have to get round. Due to the 12th, which is tomorrow, when the Orange Men should all be out marching, that's happening on the Monday instead, because they don't do anything on Sunday, because the Orange Order are meant to be religious. And they do the marching on the Monday, but then they get the Tuesday off as an extra day's holiday. Thankfully the vet opens on Tuesday, but most businesses here are closed Monday and Tuesday. They get 2 days holiday for the 12th here. So it's just a pain in the arse, because it means the vet's shut an extra day. Now, they probably should be fucking 60 mile an hour and you're out on the fucking single carriageway with a yard brush sweeping fucking grass, pardon my vulgarity. So Tuesday they're in and he'll speak to them then. So it hasn't called back. At this point I don't think he will. It's 8:05. So I've said to Darren we're going to stop the medication, see if her poo returns to normal. She's walking, she's eating, she seems fine, she's drinking. She does get a little bit restless, and but she's still happy. She's barking at the postman, she's getting excited when it's dinner time and barking loads like she normally does. So there's no change in her behaviour, it's just the poo thing. But because it's a double whammy of steroids cause it, the treatment causes it, we've also changed her food to a really high protein, low fat, which is supposed to be better for Parkinson's, have you heard me? Cushings. It's like triple whammy. I've said to Darren, right, we're going to stop the medication. It may be that we need to sort of introduce the food slower to her rather than just change her food entirely, give her a little bit of it along with her normal stuff and just slowly wean the normal down and the protein high up. But it's a worrying time. I know, like, it's a dog, but to us it's like, it's a fur baby. Poor Dorothy. Suze, whose vlog I watch, I've mentioned lots of times, she's got 2 little girls, Bernie and Dot, and Bernie had chickenpox, and Dot got chickenpox, and Dot's chickenpox, the doctor said they were the worst chickenpox that she'd ever seen. Absolutely terrible they were, and they just kept coming up more and more and more, and some were crusting over and more were coming up, and they got infected. She had one right on her eye, and the poor child, I'm sure it was really, really worrying for her, like for the mum, I mean. I know a dog's a dog and a child's a child, but like your babies, you're still worried, because they are so helpless. They depend on you to make them feel better. So I hope Dorothy's doing a lot better, and I hope this helps Molly a little bit and we're not looking at losing her within the next couple of months. It's going to be a worrying time going on holiday if she doesn't settle back to normal. So we'll see. Can I tell you anything else new? I think that's it really. Isaac went into town yesterday, met Katie, they went to see Minions. I picked them up at the cinema, gave her a lift home out to Randallstown. Very, very quiet. Isaac sat in the front seat, she sat in the back, and she didn't speak the whole way. And Isaac's chatting. I says, do you want to sit in the back with Katie? No. I'm like, fucking hell. So I don't think it is. Don't think there's anything in it. I think they just are friends, but it was just odd that the 2 of them met up on their own rather than with more of them, I don't know. But she's lovely. She seems like a really, really nice girl. But Isaac he's got a lot to learn about how to be attentive towards females, let's put it that way. I mean, fuck's sake, you could have sat in the back seat and talked to her. She probably feels really awkward being in my car, kind of thing, which you wasn't expecting. But yeah, I'm actually really pleased with it. I got a new blush. My dad's next door neighbour is a stand-up comic. She has actually done a tour, a local tour. Her name's Zara Tweed. But she mainly does TikTok videos and Facebook, and she's made a fucking killing. She's doing really well. She was able to stop her normal job. She's, just doing that now. Anyway, I don't know if they sponsored her or not, but she did this video for this blush, but it's got like built in. It's got like a shimmer, like I don't know if you can see on there, it's a little bit highlight. It's got like, I can never get a highlight that looks right on my skin because I'm so pale, but it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it to act like a highlight, and they do loads of different shades. What is it? Elf? Can't fucking remember. They do a little like highlighter thing as well, but this is a blush with highlight. I can't remember what it's called now, but it goes on really nice. I don't like loads of blusher. I hate it because, like I say, I've got a pale complexion, but I can see the way the light's hitting that, and I like it. It's nice. So yeah, I'll tell you what it is when the only person that watches this that wears makeup at any point is Suze, and even she doesn't wear makeup that much these days. But yeah, it goes on really subtle, really nice. Nothing else I can tell you. That's it. Into my dad's tomorrow. I wasn't going to because it's the 12th. I don't leave the house on the 12th because they close roads. You know, if you drive in the wrong area and there's parades, you know, they've been known to threaten you and stuff because they think you've done it on purpose. So I just don't leave the house on the 12th. But because they're not doing the marching this year on the 12th, I'm going in to see him tomorrow, and then I'll just not leave the house on the Monday instead, and then we'll be at the vets on the Tuesday. Right, I'm going to tell you this because by the time I edit this and put this up, the cat will be out of the bag. It's nothing that you'll find interesting. So Darren's got a friend that he grew up with, went to school with, hung about with through his teens, called Rory, who lives in Australia. He's from Yorkshire. His wife is called Lisa, funny enough. His long-term partner's called Lisa. She's from Ireland. They both live in Scotland. They both live in Australia. I don't know where Scotland came from. And he unfortunately has to come over to Yorkshire because his mum is not very well. She's got stage 4 cancer, and he's coming over for a couple of weeks. But he's making a flying visit over to us to see Darren. Darren doesn't know. He's told me not to say anything. Now, if you imagine if you're a woman and there's someone that you've never met before coming to stay in your house for a couple of nights, how the fuck am I supposed to get stuff in that's different for him to eat, make sure the house is tidy, make sure the room's ready that's full of stuff that we're trying to sell in Vinted? What excuse am I supposed to make? And I'm not allowed to tell Darren. But I have to somehow... Am I out too far? I don't know. So I have to somehow keep this from Darren. I've had to lie to him and tell him. The only thing I could come up with is try and pick someone that I know from the YouTube community and say they were coming over. Now, if I had have had any fucking common sense, I would have chosen Suze, because he's flying from Leeds Bradford and she's the only person I know from that area. But I was trying to think of someone he couldn't contact, and I thought he could really easily send Suze a message on Facebook, because he's got her on Facebook. But Alan doesn't do social media. Right, I chose Alan, who is a YouTuber. Kermit's Ghost, you will see him comment. So Alan, you're the guinea pig I've chosen, because Alan doesn't use a mobile and Alan doesn't use social media. He just does DVD hunts once a week. And we met Alan when we went to London, and Darren really likes him. You know, I knew I had to pick someone that he would like, and I had to pick somebody he had no way of finding out that I was lying about. So I've picked Alan and said, Alan's coming over to meet a few people thankfully there's a few lads in Northern Ireland from like I don't even know if Alan knows them, but there's a couple of them, and I'm like, oh, Alan's coming over and they're having a meet, and he said that, you know, we'll get together while he's over. So I've said, I haven't told him yet that we're going to the airport. He'll be like, what? Oh, well, obviously I'm going to go to the airport and pick him up. But if he looks into flights and realises that he's coming in from Leeds Bradford, Alan's from fucking Brighton. So yeah, it's the lies I'm having to tell. So I thought, right, well, if I say, hey, someone's coming, then it's an excuse for me to be able to like tidy the room, get all the vintage shit out of it, buy a few extra bits. He's coming on the Monday. He arrives at 9:30 in the morning at Belfast Airport, and he's leaving on the Wednesday afternoon. So you know, he's only here a couple of nights, but I can't even like book to do anything like, does he like Game of Thrones, because that's quite interesting. He could go up to the but I can't book it because I don't know, and I also don't want to ask Darren because so I don't know what you don't want someone to come and for them to have to sit in their arse in the house the whole time, you know what I mean? And I know you can get some really good deals for the Game of Thrones thing if you're well prepared. So anyway, he's coming Monday week. I only found out today, so I bet he's bound to know I'm lying because I'm so bad at it. So the plan is that we're going to be at the airport. I might even send him to the airport on his own to pick Alan up. And he'll not know till Rory walks through and he sees Rory that it's not Alan he's there to pick up. The only thing that's putting me off doing that is I'd quite like to film it. So that I have it on film. They haven't seen each other probably since they were teenagers. Rory's had a really, really bad time of it. He's had cancer multiple times. He had to have a stem cell transplant. It was blood cancer, and his sister donated. He's been touch or go of a few times. He's been a really, really poorly guy. And the two of them, reconnected online, and they chat back and forth. And it's really nice that he's coming over to see Darren. But Darren knows nothing about it, and I am shit at keeping a secret. Not because I don't want to keep a secret, but because I'm a terrible liar. I'm just bad at it. I feel like if I have to make something up, I feel guilty that I'm lying. It's like, so I have to concoct this thing. And I'd be like, is he not thinking, why the hell's Alan coming over? That's a bit odd. But I don't know. We'll see. So you're a lifesaver, Alan. I've used you as an excuse. So you're coming over, and you'd be happy enough with that because he likes Alan. And then I thought it was the two people I was going to pick was Jamie or Alan, who we met in London a couple of years ago now. But then I thought, again, it's same with Suze. He would contact Jamie. He's even got Jamie's phone number. I'd probably have sent him a text message. Bald-headed twat from Bournemouth. That's what everybody calls Jamie, and Darren would be quite irreverent, and he'd say, I hear we're getting stuck with you for a couple of days. That's what he would do. He would text him. I can't fucking do that. So I thought, right, he can't text Alan. He can't contact him on social media because he doesn't have any. Perfect. So Alan's got the blame. One half of me wants to just let him go and figure out. I just would like them to be able to catch up, as blokes without me there, without it being it might be a bit overwhelming for Rory to not have seen Darren for so long, but also to have me there, and he doesn't know me, he's never met me. What I might do is say to Rory, right, I want you to film when you're coming through. I want you to film his reaction. Hopefully he will. I don't know if he'll feel like a tit doing that, but I don't want to miss the reaction of when he sees him and realises. I'll be gutted. So I'm trying to weigh up, do I go and film it myself, or do I say to Rory, you have to film coming through so that I see the reaction? But you know what men are like, they're not going to want to do that. They're going to feel stupid. Right, I'm going to go. I'm outside the cinema. Film starts in 20 minutes, so I've got plenty of time. I shall do a review as always for my website, and I shall speak to you guys later. Hello, just putting this on to close off the vlog for the week. Update on last night. Evil Dead Burn the special effects are amazing, the gore's fantastic, but the storyline's a bit weak. It's not it's just not very developed as a plot. You don't really feel impacted by the characters, you don't really feel much for them. But if you're just watching it from the point of view of wanting to see a lot of gore and really great special effects, then yes, that is really good. And there's quite a bit of gross out humour in it as well. Not gross out gore. If you've seen Drag Me to Hell, it's got a similar, which was also Sam Raimi, wasn't it? It's got a very similar sort of gross out style bits about it. So yeah, Darren's just waiting on Molly. Think Molly's still got a runny bum, but we think we may have, apparently, we've changed her diet. A vet was in contact and said to keep giving her the medication till Tuesday, but Darren has just read, because he gave her dinner, and then within about 20 minutes to half an hour of eating her dinner, she looked really bloated and like, oof, and just lay down, looking a bit, oof. And then he read the flax seed that we've been giving her, that was recommended online everywhere, that it's really good, can cause diarrhea. So it may be that, and she's had it today as well, which means she'll be running all day today. So that'll be the last of that she'll get. We'll see. Hopefully then her poos will be normal for Tuesday for going to the vet, so we'll just have to wait and see. Just heading in now to my dad's. I can, it's such a nice day. I cannot be bothered having to go through. The solicitor sent me, I told you about this, just a ton of questions, and how much was in this and how much was in that, and was this transferred out, and can you confirm this happened, and this account and that account. And we chucked all my mum's old bank statements because we didn't think we'd need them, and I have to somehow find out all these amounts. I've no idea how the hell I'm going to do it. No idea. They're shut until 21st of July anyway, for 2 weeks, so we'll have to go in and see what I can find out. But yeah, nothing else happening apart from that.
She didn't do it. She just went through the motions over everything.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when I get back. It's not like we're going to be away for very long. Yeah, so I shall switch you off and yeah, catch up with you next week. I don't think there's anything of any interest happening this week coming up. I can think of off the top of my head. Isaac's going to, is it this Friday or is it the next Friday that you go to that kayaking thing?
Not this Friday.
Right, so
The new motion episode comes out Friday.
is that a Friday or Saturday that you're doing that?
I think it's a Saturday.
Right, okay. So that's not, so basically there's nothing planned for this week, but I wanted to go and try and find that hidden village of Gallipoli someday, which is like an old medieval village, and it still has the ruins of some of the original stone-built cottages left. But it depends how Molly, you know, if by Tuesday she's firmed up again after stopping the flaxseed. There's a cyclist going to be annoying her. There's a massive big, you'll see me drive, no, you can't see out my window.
Yeah, it's probably going to be something.
Yeah, loads of cyclists out. It's a pain on these roads because they're so narrow. It's like one lane and they're narrow and they're very twisty and bendy. So because you have to give so much room, you have to wait until there's nothing coming either way to get around them. And at the minute, because we live super close to the shore, and it's nice weather, a lot of people at the minute go up to the shore on a weekend, especially on a Sunday. It's two popular things people in Northern Ireland do on a Sunday is they go to see their grandparents and they go on a Sunday drive. You hear about Sunday drivers, like to the shore or something, so I think that's what they're doing. So anyway, I'll switch you off. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back.